UCLA survived Duke, and surviving matters in March, but that level of play is unacceptable against Texas. The Bruins advanced, and that matters. But if UCLA gives Texas those same kinds of first-half problems, those same slow stretches, those same offensive stalls, and those same moments where the game feels loose instead of controlled, Texas will punish that much harder than Duke did. That is the reality. A team coached by Vic Schaefer will not just let you hang around waiting to find yourself. Texas will keep pressing the weakness until the game turns. Lauren Betts saved UCLA against Duke. That has to be said directly. Her interior presence, her scoring, her size, and her ability to stabilize possessions were the reason UCLA kept moving instead of going home. But UCLA cannot go into a Texas game with the same formula of letting things drift and then expecting Lauren Betts to rescue every broken stretch. Against Texas, the Bruins need a more serious lineup plan, a more serious physical plan, and a more serious possession-by-possession response if they fall behind early again like they did in the first meeting. That is why my main lineup adjustment against Texas would be Kiki Rice, Charles Leger-Walker, Gabriela Jaquez, Angela Dugalich, and Lauren Betts. That should be the group UCLA leans on when the game is physical, when Texas is controlling the tone, when UCLA is trailing, or when things begin slipping in the second or third quarter. That lineup gives UCLA more size, more rebounding, more defensive resistance, more connective passing, more toughness, and better balance for the kind of game Texas wants to force. It is not just about talent, it is about structure. Texas tries to drag you into a physical, uncomfortable game. UCLA has to answer that with a 5-player group that can actually absorb that pressure without breaking apart. Kiki Rice has to be the tempo controller. Offensively, she cannot drift. She has to get downhill, collapse the defense, touch the paint, and force Texas to guard movement instead of letting them sit comfortably in help positions. If UCLA is trailing, Kiki cannot just pass around the perimeter and hope somebody else fixes it. She has to penetrate with force, make the defense rotate, and then either finish, dump it inside, or kick out on time. Defensively, she has to set the point of attack tone. No easy guard penetration, no casual ball pressure, no letting Texas guards walk into action comfortably. Kiki has to make the game feel harder from the top. Charles Leger-Walker is the stabilizer in this matchup. If Texas starts speeding UCLA up and forcing rush decisions, Charles is the player who helps reconnect the game. Offensively, she should help UCLA get organized through smart entry angles, cleaner ball reversals, and better half-court patience. She cannot just be out there as another body. She has to help settle the floor when Texas gets physical. Defensively, she gives UCLA more toughness on the perimeter and better awareness in rotations. If the game gets messy in the second quarter or third quarter, that is exactly when Charles becomes even more important, because she helps UCLA avoid the kind of emotional, rushed possessions that let Texas build runs. Gabriela Jaquez has to be one of the most important tone setters in the game. UCLA needs her toughness, but not just in a vague way. She has to rebound, attack loose balls, fight for second possessions, cut with force, and make Texas feel contact on both ends. On offense, Gabriela cannot disappear to the weak side and become passive. She has to slash into gaps, punish defensive overhelp, and crash from the wing. If Texas loads up on Lauren Betts, Gabriela has to become one of the players who makes them pay with interior cuts and physical finishes. Defensively, she has to help wall off penetration, rotate into the lane, and make sure Texas does not turn the game into straight-line drives and offensive rebounds. This is a Gabriela Jaquez game, because it demands force. Angela Dugalich is the adjustment piece UCLA needs more of in this matchup, because Texas will test your size, your rebounding, and your front-court discipline. Angela needs to be on the floor early enough and often enough to help absorb that physicality. Offensively, she gives UCLA another strong body who can keep the floor from collapsing around Lauren Betts. She helps with rebounding, screening, extra possessions, and front court balance. Defensively, she matters because Texas wants to wear you down with contact, driving pressure, and interior work. Angela helps UCLA answer that, without asking Lauren Betts to do every bit of heavy lifting alone. We are all over, other than deaths. Now, if UCLA is trailing early, this is one of the first structural adjustments that should happen. Get Angela more involved, get bigger, get stronger, and stop letting Texas own the physical tone. Then there is Lauren Betts, who still has to be the centerpiece, but now in a more organized way. UCLA cannot just throw her the ball late in broken possessions and hope greatness fixes everything. Against Texas, UCLA has to run offense through Lauren with purpose. That means early post entries, high-low looks, deep seals, elbow touches, and actions that make Texas guard her before the shot clock is already under pressure. UCLA must score in the paint, and Lauren is the clearest way to establish that. But the key is that her touches have to come inside a functioning offense, not inside panic. If Texas is fronting or digging, UCLA has to reverse the ball faster, improve spacing, and attack the gaps that open behind that help. Now to the offensive adjustments as a full team. First, UCLA has to touch the paint almost every possession when the game starts leaning Texas's way. That does not always mean a post-up, but it does mean paint pressure. Post entries to Lauren Betts, Kiki Rice, downhill. Gabriela Jaquez cutting. Charles Leger-Walker, probing, and making the next pass. Texas is too physical to let UCLA play a soft perimeter game. If UCLA starts settling for empty jumpers without forcing the defense to collapse first, that is exactly how Texas starts controlling the pace and confidence of the game. The offense has to begin inside and work outward. Second, UCLA has to improve its spacing. Against a team like Texas, bad spacing turns into turnovers, rushed shots, and dead possessions. The Bruins need cleaner weak side position, sharper corner spacing, and better timing when feeding the post. When Lauren Betts catches inside, the players around her have to create real passing windows. No crowding the lane, no standing too close together on the perimeter, no watching. Gabriela has to cut with timing. Kiki has to relocate. Charles has to be available as an outlet. Angela has to occupy help when needed. Every part of the spacing has to help Lauren, not suffocate her. Third, UCLA has to be more intentional about three-point shooting. This is not a game where you win by randomly taking more threes. This is a game where you earn better threes. That means inside-out threes, drive and kick threes, extra pass threes, and rhythm looks after the defense collapses. UCLA cannot start living on contested perimeter shots if Texas is the one dictating the physical tone. The Bruins need to shoot threes as a result of control, not desperation. That is a huge difference. The better the interior offense and penetration are, the cleaner the perimeter looks become. Fourth, UCLA must improve ball penetration. Texas wants to pressure you into becoming static. UCLA cannot let that happen. Kiki Rice especially has to keep breaking the first line of defense. Charles has to keep the offense connected. Gabriela has to attack gaps instead of floating. Penetration matters because it bends the defense, creates paint touches, and forces rotations that can lead to easier finishes or better kickouts. If UCLA's guards are not collapsing the defense at all, Texas gets to sit on Lauren Betts and make every catch harder. Fifth, UCLA has to win points in the paint. That is one of the clearest matchup markers. If Texas is winning the paint battle and controlling rebounding, UCLA is probably playing the wrong kind of game. The Bruins need post-scoring, cuts to the rim, offensive rebounds, and strong finishes through contact. They cannot let Texas turn the game into a contest of who survives more bad possessions. UCLA has the size to make Texas guard inside. Use it, over and over. Make Texas pay physically before expecting the perimeter to open up. Now to the defensive end. UCLA has to stop letting teams get comfortable in the middle quarters. Against Texas, the second and third quarters are exactly where the game can swing if the defensive detail slips. The point of attack defense has to be stronger. Guards cannot just get screened and disappear from the play. Help defenders have to be earlier, not later. Rotations have to be connected. Texas should not be getting downhill at will, and UCLA cannot allow repeated paint touches that collapse the entire defense. Gabriela Heckers, Angela Dugalich, and Lauren Betts have to own that interior resistance. Make drives harder. Make catches uglier. Make every finish feel crowded. Rebounding may be the most important adjustment category of all, because Texas will absolutely test it. UCLA cannot defend well for 18 seconds and then lose the possession because nobody boxed out. Rebounding against Texas is not an effort detail you mention after the fact. It is one of the foundations of the game. Lauren Betts has to clean the glass. Angela Dugalich has to give size and leverage. Gabriela Heckers has to rebound down from the wing. Kiki Rice and Charlotte Leger-Walker have to gang rebound from the guard spots when the ball comes off long. UCLA has to treat every defensive rebound like the possession is still unfinished until the ball is secured. If UCLA is trailing early, like in the first meeting, the adjustment cannot be passive. It cannot be wait another few minutes and see if it settles. No. If Texas comes out stronger, UCLA has to answer immediately with structure. That means going to the tougher lineup sooner. That means putting the ball inside sooner. That means tightening perimeter defense sooner. That means crashing the glass harder sooner. That means making the game feel physical on UCLA's terms instead of Texas's terms. If Texas starts winning the tone battle in the first quarter or early second quarter, Coach Cori Close has to respond with a real basketball adjustment, not just hope momentum changes by itself. That is why this specific lineup matters so much. Kiki Rice, Charlotte Leger-Walker, Gabriela Heckers, Angela Dugalich, and Lauren Betts gives UCLA the best blend of control, toughness, penetration, rebounding, interior scoring, and defensive structure for this matchup. Then from there, UCLA can bring in shooting and other pieces once the game is back on its terms. But against Texas, the first job is not pretty offense. The first job is surviving the physical tone without losing the structure of the game. That lineup helps do that. So yes, UCLA survived Duke. Yes, Lauren Betts saved them. Yes, that level of play is unacceptable against Texas. And yes, the answer is not just one sentence about effort. The answer is a real structural adjustment, stronger point-of-attack defense from Kiki Rice, more composure and connection from Charlotte Leger-Walker, more toughness and cutting from Gabriela Heckers, more size and rebounding from Angela Dugalich, and a more organized interior offense to Lauren Betts, better spacing, better penetration, better rebounding, more paint pressure, more scoring, smarter three-point creation, more defensive resistance. If UCLA wants a different result against Texas, all of that has to show up from the opening tip. UCLA WBB, Texas WEB, Lauren Betts, Kiki Rice, Angela Dugalich, Gabriela Heckers, Charlotte Leger-Walker, Bruin Nation.